Good morning, y'all. I'm Marlene Bush. This is Stitching by the Lake, and this is a video about cross stitch and maybe a few other things, but not a whole lot. Good morning. I'm so glad y'all are here. I love making these videos, even though it takes a little bit more organizing than I seem to be able to do these days, but I love making them because I love to show you what I'm working on, and I love watching them because I love to see what other people are working on, and I learn a lot, and I get enabled a lot, way more than I should at this point in my life. Anyway, I have several FFOs today, fully finished objects. A couple of them are even new starts, and then I have a couple of finished objects, a couple of whips, and a few patterns that I bought since the last time I saw you all. And I have a giveaway at the end that's a little bit different giveaway than what I've done in the past. It's not patterns this time. So I want to start off by saying I wish you were here with me in Arkansas. I'm in the central part of Arkansas, and our trees are stunning right now. In fact, I want to show you. Y'all know I am certainly technology challenged and can barely get these videos made, but my next door neighbor, two neighbors down, have the most beautiful tree, so I brought this picture to show you. Look at that, y'all. Isn't that stunning? And it's that way all over Arkansas right now. The very tip-top northern part of the state, I think, is maybe just a hair past peak, but we should be at peak right now. The sun is shining. It's beautiful. It's also deer season, so I know that there are a lot of guys out there deer hunting, my husband being one of them this morning. He did not kill a deer today, but my grandson did, so we're excited about that. And for those of you who have a problem with hunting, I'm very sorry. We do eat them. That is a staple in our diet, and gosh, am I glad about that now with the way inflation has hit the beef prices. I'm glad to have some venison in my freezer. Last video, I have notes over here, y'all, so because you know my memory stinks. Last video, I asked y'all to give me some insight into selling patterns. And a couple of you mentioned Stash Unload on Facebook. I have done that in the past, but remember a minute ago when I said I'm technology challenged? You have to do an album on that, and I seem to have a little bit of a problem figuring out not so much how to get an album on there, but then how to get pictures off of there. I don't know, maybe I should spend a little bit more time studying, but I think it will be easier for me to do on a Flosstube video, which I will do a little bit later. I'm not in any hurry. I am so grateful to Susan, first of all, who gave me a heads up about a mail app, Pitney Bowes mailing. That's going to be a wonderful help to me to figure out the postage, you know, and that sort of thing. And then also Cindy reminded me that she had done a Flosstube video and sold some patterns. So I'm going to go back and rewatch that. I remember her doing it. I don't remember all the details, but I'm going to go back and rewatch her video before I try to do one of my own. So later on, that'll be coming. So what else is going on with me? We had a wonderful weekend. Today is Monday, by the way. It's November the 15th. Saturday, my youngest granddaughter was in a dance competition here in Hot Springs, and so they traveled down from where they live, about 3 hours north of us, and spent the part of the weekend with us, and we got to go and watch Lainey dance. It was their state competition, and they did very well. Just adorable. Those kids are just adorable doing those little hip-hop and jazz dances. So cute. Thankfully, it was in a wonderful arena that had comfortable seats, So we were able to sit there for several hours. And then all of the kids who could come came over for supper, and we cooked hamburgers outside. So we had babies and small children and bigger children and adults and dogs. My son's dog is a lab, and his name is Moose. He tried to eat some of my Thanksgiving decorations. One of my daughters brought one of her dogs, a standard poodle. His name is Bo. Anyway, it was wild. It was chaotic, and it was wonderful. It was just good to have them here. And they're actually all coming back on this coming Saturday. We're going to do our Thanksgiving dinner this coming weekend because, you know, there are in-laws and travels and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm always just grateful when they come. It doesn't matter to me what day it is. So I'm looking forward to that. We're cooking a big meal and kind of potlucking, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope it's as pretty as it was here this past weekend and as it is right now. I haven't looked ahead to that weather report. I don't know what we're going to get. What else is going on in my life? I'm still trying to do yoga, chair yoga. I'm struggling because I still have plantar fasciitis in my left foot, doing all the things everybody tells me to do, but it's not leaving quickly. I am going to the chiropractor, though, and he's helping my back, so that's wonderful. In January, I think I'm going to go back to leading women's Bible studies. I haven't done that in 2 or 3 years now, and so I'm looking forward to it. I don't know yet exactly what we're going to choose to study. If any of you have any suggestions for that, I'd love to hear them. Something that would last maybe 6 or 8 weeks and be good for older women like me. I think that would be great if I could get some suggestions. I also have another question. I want to know, what is your favorite kind of project bag? Is it the one with the vinyl front, or is it the all cloth ones? And have you watched any tutorials on making those bags, and who has a really good one that you think was helpful for you? I know they're all good. I've looked at 2 or 3. I used to make these bags all the time, but it's been a year or 2 now since I did. I made one last week. One of my daughters has requested that for her Christmas present, to have several bags. But I wasn't quite pleased with what I did, and I need to research a little more before I make any more. So if you would, comment below and leave me answers to those questions. I'd love it. Okay, let's get started. I had a giveaway last video, and I ask that everyone email me because that's the easiest for me. Again, technology is not good for me. I think, excuse me, somebody may have sent me a message on Instagram. I caught a glimpse of it, and then it like disappeared. I'm not good with Instagram. I can go in and put a heart and even a comment occasionally, but the rest of that is a little bit getting to the messages and that kind of thing. If you did, please would you email me instead? I'm going to put my email address in the drop-down box below, okay? That would be very helpful for me. So, what's next? FFOs. Let's see what I got going over here. I've got boxes and piles, and it's so fun. Oh, Colorado Cross Stitcher, Sherry, you asked about floss storage, and I think I've shown you this before. My over-dyed flosses are all right there. Classic Colorworks, and then Gentle Arts, and then Weeks. I do have my silk threads. I've moved those from over there and put them over to my left where there's another. Here, let me see if I can turn this and not make you really dizzy. Well, it's a long way to turn, isn't it? There's where I have some of my silks along with some other things. Sorry about that turntable deal, y'all. And also, someone asked me about these shelves up there. As wobbly as they look, they are stable. When I was quilting all the time, I kept... Oh, gosh, sorry. My whole thing moved. I've got this on top of... Okay, Okay. On top of my sewing machine. And it's on one of those tables that you can adjust the height. And when I pushed on that, it went right down. Anyway, FFOs. That shelf up there was what I was talking about. I used to keep all of my quilt tops and my quilt battings up there, and now it's just kind of, since I don't quilt much anymore, it does have some battings and some things like that, but my next chore is to get everything off of those shelves because I don't really need them anymore, and I'm going to have my husband take those down because I don't need that storage. Okay, this was a new start and an FFO. Thankful, grateful, blessed. This was an exclusive from Shepherd's Needle in Little Rock, Arkansas. I don't know if Ann still has these. She might. I'll put her information down below and you can call or you can look on her website and find that out. But they are just adorable. I really, really love them. Somebody posted on Facebook or Instagram last week that they'd been by Ann's shop, the Shepherd's Needle, and how wonderful it was, and I want to echo that because it really is. I was in one day last week. I had to go to the endodontist. Oh gosh, that's another whole story, y'all. But anyway, I went by there and picked up a couple of patterns that I'll show you. And they were talking about how wonderful it is, and I looked around when I was in there, and I thought, you know, I've gotten so used to it. But honestly, it is a beautiful store, and Ann is the owner, and Sherry works in there for her. Never, ever have I been to that store, even when they didn't have a clue who I was when I first started back cross-stitching 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whenever that was. They have never been anything but gracious and kind and helpful and just wonderful people to work with. Ann has such an eye for fabric and color, and Sherry knows where everything is and can find anything I want, and so it's just a treat to go in there. And I'm not saying other shops aren't like that, because I've been in several that are, but that particular shop, which is an hour away from me, is just my favorite one ever because of the service and the kindness. And she did tell me last week that not yet, I don't think, because she hasn't texted me. She said she would text, but she is going to begin shipping internationally. She's going to start with Canada, I think, and maybe add one area of the world at a time to try to get herself organized and ready to do all that. But keep an eye out on her website, because she is going to start doing that, and I know that would be so helpful to some of you who struggle getting the patterns and fabrics and flosses that you want. She has a wonderful selection. Okay, and she didn't pay me to do that. Okay, to say that. I just love her and love her shop. Anyway, this was a kit when I bought it, and it came with this little tray and the patterns for those 3 berries, which I just am dumping everywhere, aren't I? There are 3 of them. Grateful, thankful, and blessed. This is grateful. And I did find some Just Another Button Company buttons that would go along with these. And they didn't come with the kit. But I saw them on her counter when I was there last week and grabbed them. I did this on a 32 count. Let me see here. 32 count Confederate gray. So they're pretty good size berries. I've just fallen in love with the strawberries. They're quick to stitch. They're quick to make. And they're just fun little things to have to tuck in a corner somewhere or in a little bowl with some berries in there. I had some wool scraps, and so I just cut out the little tops and attached a ribbon. And y'all, the ribbon I stitched in at the top of this strawberry. And then I cut a slit in the wool and slid the ribbon through. I did go in. I didn't want my leaves stitched down. I liked the look of them being out a little bit more natural. And so way back under here, I put a touch of glue, just a line of glue around, under the green one first, and then under the top one, so that that would hold those on and they wouldn't pull out. This one is Thankful, and I did it the same way. These are stuffed with walnut shells. I did try, I'm feeling of them. This one is all walnut shells. I order mine from Amazon. Lizard Litter, I think is what it's called. And I like how that works for the strawberries. I like it a lot. This one, someone had told me to try stuffing yarn down in this point, which I did, and then putting my walnut shells in. And I think on all of these, I put the walnut shells in up to about right here, and then I stuffed the top of it with polyfill. And that seems to work pretty good. I like the way that ends up looking. And I did the tops all the same way with a little bit of glue. All right, I'm going to move those to the side. I should have planned a little bit better here. I never plan better. Okay, now, this is my little box of FFOs. This was also a new start. Well, let me get the pattern. And it's called, it was a kit, Bountiful Treats by the Trilogy. I've probably had this since 2015. I don't know. I've had it a long time. Let me see if it's got a date on it. No. I don't see a date. Oh, maybe 2002, but I didn't buy it in 2002. I can tell you that much. Anyway, I really only wanted that turkey. That's what I bought it for. It came with a little leaf button. And this is my little turkey. And he also has walnut shells in him. I don't know what the fabric is in this. I think it's natural. Nope, 32 count vintage from Witchelt. It came with this little leaf. It did not come with this button. This button came with something else, and I don't remember what. I added the rickrack and stuffed it with just the lizard litter. I want to put this in my living room. I have a tool tray, a long tool tray on a big coffee table. And I want to put this in there, although I may have to wait until after next weekend, because if Moose decides to eat some more decorations, I don't want this to be one of them. He's a beautiful dog, honestly. Then I did a couple of more berries, because I told you I was just hooked on berries. I have more. I have a bunch more that I want to do. This is from, I thought I had the pattern in here, but I'm not seeing it. These are from Erica Michaels. They're autumn berries. This one is Pick of the Patch, and I showed these to you last time. I've just finished them since then. And these two have yarn in the tip, and then walnut shells, and then a little polyfill in the top, and I finished them all the same way. And this one is just called Autumn Leaves Abound. I did not do this one in the called for color, although I did this one. I switched the color on this one and made it more of a cranberry. I don't remember what thread I used for that. And then last time I did a video, I also showed you a piece that my friend Judy in Tulsa stitched for me. And I found a frame for it at Hobby Lobby this last week. This was not this color. It was just the unfinished. And I stained it with just, I don't remember, something I had here, a little gel stain. And I mounted this on mat board with a couple of layers of batting. And then it's actually just stuck in here. This frame was, whatever was in there was set way back towards the back. And I think it had raised letters that said coffee. I couldn't get those letters out. But the mat board fit right in there and is wonderfully stable. So, Judy, thank you again. I love this, and I'm going to put this in my bedroom on my sampler wall. Actually, I have right up above, I have 3 windows in there, and I have just a narrow strip about that wide that goes all the way across that room. And I have some right up there, and that's where that's going to go. The next one that I finished, I think I also showed you last time, Ann Miller 1818 from Needlework Press. Man, I love this. I love the sampler. I love the colors. Let's see. I wrote down what I stitched Ann Miller on. 36 count straw, and the threads are rum raisin. This is another frame that I found. I don't know where I got this frame. Maybe Hobby Lobby, but it could have been a Goodwill one. And I painted it. Let's see. Nope, it's Hobby Lobby. I painted it this red, and I tried to get as close to the color of the threads as I could. Now, let me tell you about this. 36 count straw. I don't know. I iron interfacing on the back of mine. But before I do that, I try to make sure that the fabric has not stretched, that it's not skewed a little bit, that it's straight. Mostly I just eyeball it. But sometimes I even have to pin it to my wool mat, ironing mat, and steam it just a little bit to make sure it will stay straight. I don't know if I forgot to do that, but after I had ironed the interfacing on and started trying to put this on the mat, I laced it. I could not get this thing straight for love nor money. I worked and worked and worked at getting it straight. It is not perfectly straight now, although it looks pretty darn good. Another problem that I had with it was that this edge right here is not the same all the way down. Each of these little borders is different. It might be 1 stitch to the right, 2 stitches to the left. Where it ends, you just can't tell. That makes it look off a little bit. Had I realized that, I probably would have gone back and adjusted those lines so that they each one ended at the same place, and probably even these 2 borders right here as well. That would have made it a little bit easier for me. Again, I put it on mat board. I did not put batting under this one. I didn't have much room in this center part to put this mat board, and I didn't want it to stick out too much. So I just decided to try it without the batting. Anyway, laced it and then glued it, the back part of it. Nothing's on this. Glued it on the back of that. I love the way it turned out. Just love it. This is going to be one of my favorite pieces, I'm sure. Ann Miller, 1818, Needlework Press. Don't you just love that? I do. There. And then my last FFO I showed you last time was the round robin that I participated in. There were 6 of us that were doing these in lieu of Christmas presents, and I chose Faith of the Heart by Brenda Gervais. That's the pattern. Do I have that right side up? I do. It is an absolutely wonderful, beautiful pattern. And I told you last time that I was considering adding something to the bottom border, maybe putting some initials, and I've chosen not to do that. I'm going to document on the back of this who stitched it and all that kind of information. This also was a frame from Hobby Lobby. I always make sure that they're on sale, half off, before I buy one, because you can wait a week and it will be. I did not do anything to this frame at all. Left it just as it is. I think it complements the color of this fabric very well. let's see if I have all that here. I think I do. Faith of the Heart, 32 count colonial sampler with the call for threads. All of these are going up in my bedroom once this video is over. All right, let me put this little stuff away right here. Okay. Now, I have also 2 FOs. Finished objects that are not fully finished. No, maybe I only have 1. Yeah, only 1. Okay. Have I shown y'all this little bag? I made this a long time ago. This is Little House Needleworks, maybe? Hands to Work. Love this little bag. Anyway, this is the Plum Street pattern. This is the one that I made. Goodness and Plenty. I want to make the other 2, but that will probably be next fall because I still have a couple of fall stitches I want to do. And this is, I used the call for threads, and I don't know what this fabric is. I think it's a 36 count maybe. But it was just a random piece of fabric that I found in my stash. I think I will probably just do a pillow. I still need a couple more fall / Thanksgiving pieces for that toolbox I mentioned earlier. And whips. What am I working on right now? All right, I have 2 of those. The first I showed you, had I started it last time? I don't remember. Mary Kathleen Harris, 1873. It was reproduced by Erna Hiscock. And I first saw this on the Contented Stitcher Kim Goldman. I saw it on her video, although there's some others that are stitching it. She was just the first one that I saw. And I chose it because it has a big zebra. Wait a minute. I'm going to find the pattern here for you. Do y'all hate it that I'm this disorganized? I hope not. This was a PDF, so this is what I can show you. I bought it for that zebra right there because my high school mascot was a zebra. And I really, really wanted to stitch him. I may have to pull him out and stitch him by himself as well. I don't know. I'm using 32 count American chestnut and Belswa Old Crow and oatmeal scone. I think oatmeal scone is what Kim used, but I don't remember about the Old Crow. I have a fat half of this 32 count chestnut, and I have not cut this yet because I didn't have to. I stitch in a hook, and so excess fabric doesn't really bother me, and I tend to, when I do that, I tend not to cut until I'm completely through if it's not bothering me. This is how far I've gotten, and I am loving every bit of it. Let's see here on this pattern. I am right here below this heart. I've done all that up there. I have this little row right here to do, and then I get to start on the zebra. The colors are wonderful. The Old Crow and the oatmeal scone is perfect on this American chestnut fabric. Or at least I think it is. I think it's going to be a beautiful piece. This is my black sampler for the stitch along. Only because I had already started it. I'm terrible at stitch alongs. Just absolutely terrible. And then a couple of weeks ago when I've been to the dentist a couple of times this month. So a couple of weeks ago No, this was just last week. Just last week. When I was at the Shepherd's Needle, I walked in the door and she had 2 strawberries that I had never seen before, and they were just so cute. This picture doesn't look anything at all like what they look like stitched up. This is Collection Tra-La-La by somebody. Fraise de Noël, maybe? Or maybe that's the title, and this is the designer. I think this is the designer. Not sure. Anyway, 2 patterns in here, and I started on the Santa one. And I am using the same fabric that Anne used on hers, which is a 32 count raw with a silver thread. And I'm using the called for colors. And this is where I am. This is going to be a very large strawberry. It will be this tall. I mean, from right about here to right about here, because there's more down here in this area. There are 3 more trees here and like 5 more snowflakes. And I have maybe 2 more gold stars that go up in here somewhere. I'm hoping to finish this tonight. Since my husband is at the deer camp, I can sit and stitch for a long time. Is not that the cutest? Just love it. I probably won't get to do the snowman right now. I'll have to put him off a little bit because, like I said, I've got some other things, and I've got some whips that are really, really calling to me. I just need to get going, get working on them. Okay, what's next? Okay, what have I bought since I saw y'all last? Well, not exactly since I saw y'all last, because a couple of things I had ordered some time ago that just came in. First of all, my Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine came in, and y'all, if you don't take this magazine, you're missing out. It is so good. Every issue, I think, is better than the one before. And Deb is the editor, and Deb, you just outdid yourself this time. I am in love with this sampler right here. That's from Shakespeare's Peddler. And this right here from Teresa Kogut. Let's see. And look at this cute little Santa from Lucy Bean. Let's see if I can find, I'm going to show you a closer up one of the sampler. There's so many cute ones in here that I want to stitch. Here it is. Some great cross stitch patterns in here too, y'all. Not cross stitch. Yes, great cross stitch, but punch needle. Some great punch needles if you love punch needle. Look at that. Look at that. And y'all, that's not going to take that long to stitch. That's a relatively small and simple sampler with beautiful Christmas colors. She used Classic Colorworks Ribbon Red and Weeks Dye Works Lily Pad. I just think it's perfection. And she used 40 count milk coffee from X Jude Designs. I don't have that, but I have something similar, I'm sure. So that's going to be a new start for me, I hope, before I see y'all again. That's my plan. And then there were some Christmas patterns that caught my eye. Obviously, Brenda Gervais released some that you've all seen, and the 2 that I chose to pick up were the Snowball, which has 1, 2, 3, like 7 patterns. Oh, you can't see that, it's glare. 7 patterns maybe in that. And the Bells of Christmas. I fell in love with this one the minute I saw it. I don't know that I love this color, this teal. I love that. However, I don't know that I'll do that. I'm much more a traditionalist, so I may switch that over to a red, like Schoolhouse Red or something like that. I don't know. I'll see. And then another one that touched my heart and brought back some memories was one from Heartstring Samplery, the Christmas bells. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Their old familiar carols play. I loved that one as well. I don't know that I'll get to this one this year. Maybe. We'll see. It's getting awful close. Christmas is getting awful close. But the one I know I want to kit up and start for this season comes from Needlework Press, and it's Good Tidings of Joy. This is just stunning. It only has, let's see, she stitched it on 30 count Weeks Dye Works beige. And it only has three colors. Burgundy red that's a DMC color, forest green, that's a DMC, and then Weeks Dye Works Cayenne and Juniper. I don't know if that's just her conversion. I think it's just Weeks Dye Works Cayenne, Weeks Dye Works Juniper, and then black. She used DMC, I believe, but you could use any black you wanted to. And I think I have enough Old Crow that I might could do that with. I'll look and see. That's going to be kitted up maybe today. And then a couple of patterns that I had asked for, this one, and it just came in, the Gather In from Plum Street. I got this at the Shepherd's Needle too. I think she got in an order and sold out, and I just told her to wait on mine because I knew I'd be a little while getting to it anyway. But I really loved that one. And then I picked up the two that were waiting for me from Heartstring Samplery, the Sunday stitches. I'm trying to get all of these. To God Be the Glory. I've only stitched one of this series, maybe two, but I want to stitch them all. And then Come Thou Fount. Oh, Come Thou Fount is just wonderful. Streams of mercy never ceasing. All right, so that's about it for my cross stitch stuff. I do have a giveaway today, but I told you it was going to be different. I have a friend whose name is Joe. I found a needle here that goes. Sorry, let me stick this up here where it belongs in my French deal, or I'll lose it. I have a friend named Joe who is in an independent living community that's just absolutely wonderful. They moved there about 3 years ago, she and her husband, and have the most beautiful cottage. But Jo isn't quilting as much as she used to. Excuse me. And I've been helping her go through some of her quilting supplies. She has graciously given me several tops to give away. And I'm going to do that here on this video. I'm actually going to give away 3 things today, and because they're Christmas, and I will certainly work on the others in the next few videos. So let me show you what I have, and if you are interested in it, this first one. This is a quilt top. It's a Christmas tree. There's no backing and there's no binding, but you could use any red or green to bind this one for sure. Let me back up here. I believe this was a panel that was cut apart and then sashed. I don't know how long this is, but it's not as tall as me, and I'm 5'4". So I'm going to say it's 4 foot or a little more. and width-wise, 36. That's my guess. This could easily have a backing of natural color muslin. It has a green border and it has a red, little tiny red polka dot border. So pretty much any red or green or even the muslin would do as the binding. If you're interested in that, please just say something about a tree. Now, this one is, I'm going to call it Noble Fir because it's got a little panel in the middle of it that says that. That would make sense. It also is about a little over 4 feet tall and about 36 inches wide. And it's this little center panel. I'm going to get closer so you can see it. My father was a noble fir. And then it's sashed to make kind of like diamonds around it. Again, no backing, no binding, but a red, any Christmas red or green. Put muslin on the back. And this one, if you would use the word father. Father. This one is actually already backed. She did it pillowcase style. And it's a Christmas wreath. It is not quilted. So it would need to be quilted. Would make a great table topper. Maybe sit a candle right here in the middle. This one is not, I don't think it's a yard wide. It's probably not 36 inches, a little short of that. And it's a square. Actually, I can tell you, it's about 25 inches square. And if you're interested in this one, please put the word wreath. Now, today's the 15th of November. Even if I don't make a video before the 1st of December, I'm going to draw the 1st of December and mail these out so that you can have them before Christmas. So if you are interested in those, please be sure that you comment below. Wreath for the last one, father for the one with the tree in the middle, and then tree for the great big tall tree. Okay, I think that's it, y'all. I think that's all I've got. I hope that if you celebrate the holiday of Thanksgiving, I hope that you have a wonderful one. If you do not celebrate it, I still hope that you have a wonderful, thankful month. It's hard for us to remember sometimes how many different ways we are blessed. And this time of year is a natural time for us in America because of Thanksgiving, and Canada has Thanksgiving in November too, I think. And so it's natural for us to think about that at this time of year, but there are so many things to be thankful for. If you have a roof over your head and food in your belly, if you have family and friends who care about you, what more can you ask? So be thankful, be kind to one another, and have a great couple of weeks before I come back again. Bye-bye.